So welcome to the NMA's 2023 race season roundup. We're just going to go briefly through first with my special guests tonight, Wayne Gator, Deputy Director, and Ed Sarling. Wow! We love you really, Ed.
Deputy Director and this guy.
Yeah,
and this dude.
Would you like us to start like out? Welcome to the 2023 National Motorsport Academy race season roundup. I'm sat here with Wayne Gator, Deputy Director of the NMA, and Ed, Tutor and Race Engineer. Let's just, first of all, we're just going to skip back a bit to 2022 because what happened in 2022 almost affects the beginning of our season in 2023 when we start to talk about it. So I think first and foremost was the weekend at Donington with our lovely new built Evora, blood, sweat and tears poured into it. We're ready to finally see it turn a few laps in anger. We had a test session earlier in the week. We'd all been there actually for the test session. Signed off with another driver, really good car, really happy, dialed in, seemed like it was going to do something. I came down on the Saturday just to spectate and see how the car went. I know you'd been engineering it for the rest of that week and the weekend. So take it away, what happened?
It had run really good, as you say. It had been in for the test day the week before. It was running brilliantly. We were all set for a good weekend. The students were having a good time. And we got out for the first race. Formation lap, the cars went round. And as the lights went green and the cars went, there was a coming together. It was just put down to a racing incident. And unfortunately, the Evora came off the unlucky one in that coming together and went into the pit wall head on. And rolled round and back on as well. The first concern was for the driver, but luckily he was fine, got out. Roll cage, all the safety systems, they worked as they should, and he walked away unscathed. I think the person who came off worse than him actually was the one of the marshals who took a piece of carbon to his forehead. Yeah, but took that all in the fun of the job as well, quite luckily. And yeah, and then it was just a case of sitting back. Of course, you know, we had to wait for the race to finish before the car could be recovered. So all we could do was look at it through the fence and try and work out what was broken, how bad it was, just from sight. Yeah, and then it took a lot of work getting it onto the back of the truck. And all credit to the students, they stayed there late that night. I think we finally had it all wrapped up about 10:30, and it was a really late
Slide
night.
it on its belly because there was not a wheel left.
Yeah, but it's the whole thing, because we've got all the other kit and the car normally goes on the top ramps. We couldn't get it on the top deck, so we had to put what kit we could on the top deck. Everything else had to go to the back, and then the car was just as tight as we can. I ended up ratchet strapping it, letting the tyres down on the golf buggy just so we could get that extra bit of space in. And yeah, it was about 10:30 at night when we eventually got away. It was and then the truck wouldn't start because we'd been up and down with the lift, and I had to go and borrow a jump pack from one of the other teams who I traded for an 8-pack of beer, which I
always
felt
a good deal.
Always, yeah, they were happy by that.
So with that, unfortunately, as we know, it's great running a car of that spec, an ex-Le Mans car, really. I know we've built our new car now, but a lot of those parts are bespoke, one-offs, a lot of lead times for machining. So that wrote the season off for the Evora.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, leading into 2023, which we'll get on to, we still didn't have some of those parts, so it kind of knocked us back a bit. So from there, we brought on board the MPO1, which is sat behind us today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll have to jog my memory. We're going back to 2022, and you did run that car. Was it one or two events you raced with the MPO1 for the rest of 22 then?
Yeah, we did 2 more events with that. In the end, we did Brands Hatch and Donington, which were both, again, one-day events. A couple of students down to each of them. and it went well. It ran well, ran smoothly. There was a little bit of setup we did on it. We still managed to get the students involved with something on it, and it was just nice to be able to get out there and at least finish the season and do something for the last few races that remained. It didn't particularly position anywhere. We didn't really mind. That wasn't the point. The point was, let's get some students out and just get back out racing in any means we could. And all credit to it. It's a fantastic car. It looks the part.
And I'm sure you'd like to get your hands on that for a bit of a scan and aerodynamics session.
Yeah, it'd be nice to either do something to it or at least maybe liberate some of the design to implement onto other vehicles. Yeah, for sure. It's yet to go under the scanner. I'm sure we'll find an opportunity.
Very good. Okay, so that kind of sums up our 2022. So that was in the Slick series, and we ran the MPO one in the ZO series, I think.
We did. We moved into the ZO.
So for 2023, which we're going to do the roundup of now, we wanted to go back into GT Cup. So anybody who's not familiar with the GT Cup, there's certain classes in GT Cup, leading all the way up to GTO, which is an open class, and there's a GT3 class. We run in the GT Open. It's a full weekend event. There's always a test day just before, and then the format's the same each day. We have a practice in the morning, and then followed by a qualifying session, and then there's a race 1, which is usually a 25-minute race, and then followed by a 50-minute pit stop race in the afternoon, and we repeat that on a Sunday. So that's what we're going to go and do for 2023. If we could rebuild our Evora. The Mosler was another story as well, but I think we'll leave that for the next episode to feed us into what we're going to do with the Mosler and the Evora and our plans for 2023 leading into race 1.